About solving a system of equations by graphing. So this particular system is going to have a solution, and that solution will be where these two graphs intersect. So first we need to graph these two linear equations. The first one is already in slope-intercept form, so we can use that information to help us graph. So our slope here is -1. And our y-intercept is 0, 2. Remember that we get the 2 from b, y equals mx plus b. And let's talk about the slope here. We've got -1. So this -1 is going to be really -1 over 1. And when we have a negative slope, remember that we can take it and put it on the top, or we can put it on the bottom, but we cannot put it both places. So you need to make a choice. Here I've got it on top. And so instead of doing rise over run, instead of going up and over, we're going to go down 1 because it's negative. And then we're going to go right 1. So let's look at this particular equation and graph it on this graph. So we are going to start out with the y-intercept, 0, 2. And using our slope, we're going to go down 1, right 1. And it might be beneficial for us to keep going with this slope so that we can just have a more accurate line. So we're going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You kind of get the idea that it goes through these points, and similarly this direction. Okay, so I am no artist, but we're going to get a good idea of what happens here. Okay, so that's that first line. Now the second line, we have to do a little more work because it is in standard form. Standard form being ax plus by equals c, and actually this one's just a little bit turned around because we have the y coming first. So what we want here is really this to be in slope-intercept form with it being y equals something. So we want to solve for y. So our first step here is to move the x over. We get 3y equals -x plus 12. And I do go ahead and put this x first. Okay, so now we're going to divide by 3 every term. This is going to be y equals -1/3 x plus 4. So let's pull out our information that we need for this one. Our slope is -1/3. Our y-intercept is 0, 4. So looking at the slope more closely, again, I do have a negative. Again, I could put it on the top, or I can put it on the bottom. I can put it in the numerator, or I can put it in the denominator. I'm going to leave it in the numerator. So that's going to make it go down instead of up. Down 1, and I'm going right 3. So let's see if we can graph that one. So we're going to start with the y-intercept of 0, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm using the slope, down 1, right 3. Down 1, right 3. Down 1, right 3. Well, this is kind of bad news for us because if I keep going this way, it's going further away from this other blue graph. So I do need to do the opposite here of the slope that we just did. So if I was to put this negative in the denominator, this is going to make it go up 1, and instead of right 3, we're going to go left 3. So let's do that back from the y-intercept. So let's go up 1, left 3. Ah, there, that's more like it. Okay, so let's draw a little line here. Not perfect, but we get the idea. So where do these two graphs intersect? Where are they the same? Where do they cross? And that is the point right here. And so that point is -3, 5. So your solution is the point -3, 5. And again, this is when that solution is actually an ordered pair. These lines do intersect. With these particular problems, you may not know that until you graph it. So that's why we graphed it for this one.